A Senate Democrats' push to put a check on President Donald Trump's powers and reaffirm the Senate's war authority was shut down by lawmakers in the upper chamber Thursday. Senator Tim Kaine's war powers resolution, which would have required Congress to debate and vote on whether the president could declare war or strike Iran, was struck down in the Senate on a largely party-line vote. Say for Senator John Fetterman, DPA, a staunch advocate of Israel who supported Trump's strike on the Islamic Republic, and Senator Rand Paul, R. Kentucky, who has been vocal in his thoughts about congressional war powers in recent days. Earlier in the week, the Virginia Democrat vowed to move ahead with the resolution, despite a fragile ceasefire brokered between Israel and Iran, following weekend strikes on the Islamic Republic's key nuclear facilities that were not given the green light by Congress. Kaine argued that the ceasefire gave his resolution more credence and breathing room to properly debate the role that Congress plays when it comes to authorizing both war and attacks abroad. He said ahead of the vote on the Senate floor that he came to Washington to ensure that the country does not again get into another unnecessary war, and invoked the rush to approve war powers for President George W. Bush over 2 decades ago to engage with Iraq. I think the events of this week have demonstrated that war is too big to consign to the decisions of any one person, Kaine said. Indeed, his resolution became a focal point for a debate that has raged on Capitol Hill since Israel began its bombing campaign against Iran. Whether the strikes like those carried out during Operation Midnight Hammer constituted an act of war that required congressional approval, or if Trump's decision was under his constitutional authority as commander-in-chief. Senate Republicans have widely argued that Trump was well within his purview, while most Senate Democrats raised constitutional concerns about the president's ability to carry out a strike without lawmakers weighing in. Experts have argued, too, that Trump was within his executive authority to strike Iran. The Constitution divides war powers between Congress and the White House, giving lawmakers the sole power to declare war, while the president acts as the commander-in-chief directing the military. And nearly 2 centuries later, at the height of the Vietnam War, the War Powers Resolution of 1973 was born, which sought to further define those roles. But the most impact lawmakers could have is through the power of the purse, and Senator Mitch McConnell, R. who plays a large role in controlling the purse strings as the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Defense, had a sharp message against Kaine's resolution. McConnell used instances where Democratic presidents over the last 3 decades have used their authority for limited engagements in Kosovo, Libya, Syria, and Yemen, and questioned why isolationists would consider the strike on Iran to kneecap its nuclear program a mistake. I have not heard the frequent flyers on war powers resolutions reckon seriously with these questions, he said. Until they do, efforts like this will remain divorced from both strategic and constitutional reality.